So apparently it's the end of June. Why didn't anybody tell me? Because I could have sworn I just planted 10 days ago. Welcome to Joy of the Garden and Home, and this is the end of June garden tour. We're going to start off a little differently for this one. We're going to start in the woods where we can give you an update on our grapes. This is one that I planted this spring. It is looking pretty good. I'm not seeing anything to complain about or celebrate just yet, so everything's looking good in that front. Over here we have our second year grape, and we have grapes. Look at that. Now I do have to be mindful that we might not be getting too much rain this summer, and if I want those grapes to actually be edible, I'm gonna have to come out back here in the woods and water this plant. But we have very good growth, very healthy. It's starting to grab hold of the fencing, which is exactly what I wanted, and I'll espalier it as the season continues. Now we have another plant here. This was taken back quite a bit in the winter months, so it's practically starting all over again, but it's looking very healthy as well. So we have good hopes for that one. Getting out of the trees as quickly as possible because mosquitoes. But we have here our little blackcurrant bush. Not too promising. I mean, there's a few fruits in there, but this plant didn't grow that much is what I'm going to say. So I mentioned this in my last video, but this area that I planted is kind of restricting the growth of a lot of plants. Now, it could be because there are really big established trees here. Maybe the root system is competing for too much nutrients and water. So I do have a feeling that I'm going to be transplanting this and some of the other ones as well over time. Over here by the wellhead, we have our blueberries. They're starting to color up. I'll get closer, but we'll just go around. We had some volunteer ground cherries come up in some of the containers. Probably chipmunks or squirrels planted, and they're really liking the situation they have here. I do have a failure in this container and another one with, wait, maybe I spoke too soon. Is that two? Oh, that took a long time. Maybe two peanuts actually made it. All right, that will be to be continued there because I'm going to have to really watch and see if those are actually plants or more weeds. But peanuts should be coming up in those areas. So here we go with some of the blueberries. Wow, this is a big one. It's the only fruit in this stick, in this branch. So it's a very big fruit there, but the rest are normal size and still very much green. Let's see on this one. We have some coloration coming in for that bush. Not an overall success. This is a more new. Oh, I see a shriveled up fruit right there. So maybe next year. This is only its first full year with me. So those are still early. I did plunk in, those are onions with the volunteer potatoes, which are looking like they're coming close to the end of their life. But it's not too bad yet. So there's still time for those. Otherwise, yeah, what else did I plunk in here? I did put in I think it was lovage, but I don't see anything coming up. So I did reseed the lovage in another container to see if it was the seed or if it was the situation that it was planted in. So we'll have to come back for that. So this is another area where I had plants that aren't doing much. They're alive but not thriving. These are my peonies. And I had 5 and only 3 are surviving. So these are definitely due for a transplant. And rounding out this area are the elderberries. Again, not particularly, they should have grown up more. This is about the same size they were last year. In this closed off area, we have the corn knee high already. So some of them are knee high by the 4th of July, as the saying goes. And then there are a few others that were seeded in a little bit later, but they are catching up. So these are the younger ones, and then those are the older ones. So I did good. This were put in already as transplants in the beginning of the month. In here, we have our okra and our eggplant. Last year we had devastation with bunnies, and this year we're doing a little bit better. We are weedy because it's been too hot. I've weeded some areas, but some areas just haven't made the cut yet. But we do have the eggplant, and I know that these will be fine for the most part. And the okra are doing beautiful. No damage to them yet. Oh, I see something got to these leaves. But otherwise, they are doing well, and it just needs a good weed in here soon. We haven't had rain recently, so these are looking a little bit sad. These are Brussels sprouts. And in here is another variety of Brussels sprouts, and it looks like maybe slugs are getting to these. Oh, I see leaf miner damage. Yeah, these are definitely getting, oh, that might be caterpillar damage actually. I'll have to inspect this further. And rounding out this area is the garlic, which is going to be coming out this week probably. Oh, I can't believe I forgot to escape. Escape has escaped me. No, two. Oh my gosh. I really look over these really well, I think. But still, there's a couple. But yeah, it's about time, I feel. I don't want to wait too long. Especially like this batch. This batch just had their scapes removed. So I have like another week maybe that I wouldn't pull this. But that definitely could be pulled. And if you caught my last video, I did a fair bit of work on my tomatoes. They are looking very healthy. Also have basil every other, and they're looking very nice indeed. And I have borage intermingled certain places. These are all different varieties, and you'll have to watch my other more dedicated videos for when I get to talking about them on their own. So I have a fused blossom on this one, which is common for heirlooms. It looks like perhaps two blossoms have fused together. So that's going to be like a huge fruit. Now, I don't know. I feel like those fruits are generally not as usable because of the shared bits. So I will, as I already did, remove that blossom so that fruit does not come to. And just rounding out this space are my marigolds. And nasturtiums. These are going to be gigantic. And it's a mix of either Cracker Jack. This has some leaf mining damage. The marigolds are either Cracker Jack or African. And I'm not even sure if Cracker Jack, whether that's African or French. But I know they get huge. Over here, nothing new, just continual growth of the kales that are volunteers. These asparagus are female with all the berries. This one is male, no berries. But everything needs to be watered. I have not watered this space. There are just certain spaces that just I forget. But those are still alive and well. Rhubarb. And now we're going to go into this space. So starting on the smaller beds, those garlics are also ready to come out. The peppers are doing well in their growth. I left a couple of volunteer cherry tomatoes here. This bed, I did throw some seeds in of lettuce, but I'm not seeing too much success. So these were the strongest of the batch. It was a mixed seed packet. We got more garlic here. I seeded red bean sorrel, so those are doing well here. And then I have continued to keep these brassica. I'm not sure exactly which one. I think they're Brussels sprouts, but I'm not sure exactly. So I've continued to keep them here to go to seed. In the containers, the arugula and mizuna are spent. I'm also saving the seeds to hopefully reseed this container. And I had plunked in some nice lettuce here, nicely growing while I'm waiting. Here is my geranium kiss. It's shown real great growth. I have my basil in the middle and then my tiny Tims looking really healthy. Some more onions. The beans. The beans has been a real issue, but we've got some mung beans come up, but I've had to reseed them several times, not this one. So I've only got 4. There should be more. I don't know what to do. This is radish and turnip, and I'm pretty much just letting it go to seed at this point. I also had other beans in here that I did not see growing. I don't know why. Beets, still doing their thing. No bulbing seeing yet. In here is celery that's doing pretty good, and also should be beans coming up. But again, I don't see any. So I'm getting lost on the beans. Now these potatoes look definitely like they're almost on the way out. The beetle, Japanese beetle, is starting to get at them. There was another potato beetle earlier in the weeks that was attacking them. And there's at least 2 different varieties, so that one didn't take very well to the heat. This one's holding on better. So we will be harvesting this space pretty soon. So this is another bed that I had peanuts in, and it was looking like nothing was coming up. So I was like, I'm going to seed it with some kohlrabi. If the peanuts come up, then I'll repot the kohlrabi. If not, then at least something's already growing here. So since I don't see any peanuts, I'm glad I made that up choice. This, what is this? That might be a peanut. All right, that's encouraging. At least one peanut. This is flowering spinach. This particular plant held on the longest before it flowered, so I'm definitely keen on keeping these seeds. Like this one, this variety bolted relatively early, so not so keen on keeping those seeds. And then I have rutabaga in here. And then Swiss chard has not been like the great producer that it normally is. It's been hit with some kind of leaf damage, and it's just not generally as healthy as it's been in prior years. Now this bed has more peppers. Well, let's get the garlic, more garlic out of the way. And then the peppers that I put in more recently, they're all, look at how healthy that one looks. This is a Thai chili. This one is an overwintered jalapeno. Looking just fine. I've been pulling flowers because I feel like it's too soon, but maybe like the bigger flowers. Okay, I'll be the last flowers I pull, I promise. And then I'll let it go. So it's been wanting to fruit, but I wanted the roots established, so I haven't let it. But some of these peppers are looking very nice. I recently seeded some dill seeds because I hear that's a good companion. So whatever comes up, comes up. This is onions, looking pretty good. And then my sweet Annie, so delicious to smell. All right, this is the one area of beans that are doing well. These are my pole beans. I have something for them to climb onto right here. So they're almost there. I might have to help them along. Might be too high up, but at least the beans, these beans, came up. And my alyssum, these were winter sowed. And then I threw in some more seeds So those are going to come up later. And then this was a volunteer soybean, which I was hoping I'd have more of, but they keep not coming up. So maybe they got replanted somewhere else. But this volunteered from seeds I dropped last year. So technically, you're not supposed to keep the female asparagus, but I have so much that it doesn't bother me that they are female. In here is my Cleome, looking beautiful. It's a perennial, so I'm expecting a whole nice grove of it at some point. I had, what was it called? Milkweed, but I see it's been taken out. I don't see evidence that those have survived. Probably the rabbits. Yeah, I think the rabbits have been here more recently. My watermelons, this is Crimson Sweet in here. These pumpkins really need to get out of this cage, but I haven't gotten to my my remedy for them yet, so they can't come out yet. And my cantaloupes are really exploded in this container. I do believe I have a volunteer sunflower, so this just needs to be released. I feel kind of bad. This is like a bonus area with this native raspberry. My sage is being blocked out by it at the moment. There's some coreopsis, echinacea. There's black-eyed Susans in here, but they're not up yet. And then I plunked in my other Cleome over here, but it was just one, but it's already spent. So hopefully it will also reseed here and have a nice clump in the future. Let's see what we have going on. I finally was successful in planting those yarrows over here, and they're still alive. There's seeds in here, but I don't know what's coming up at this point. That's a foxglove, but they've already flowered, so maybe next year again. Oh, my ginger, doing fine. This is cinnamon basil, doing beautiful. Does need to be weeded. Back here is another ginger that, one of those left in the cabinet too long and starts to sprout, so hopefully that'll come up. This is my marjoram. No, is it marjoram? No, Mexican mint. Mexican mint that is supposed to be tarragon-like. And then my spearmint and peppermint are doing well. Lemongrass is supposed to be coming up here, but I don't believe that is lemongrass. I think that it is just grass. So I don't feel like those seeds were successful. Moving along, we have another marigold. My moonflowers are vining. This is a leek. My cucumber are finally attaching themselves to the trellis. A loofah over there. The loofah is starting to go. And the Armenian cucumbers are a little bit on the slower side. I thinned out the carrots recently. Looks good. I covered it because I didn't want the swallowtails to eat it up. So far, so good, I think. And then I've got more leeks, another bucket of potatoes, more celeriac, I believe that is. More leeks here. An older celery, and then more leeks, younger leeks. Another succession of leeks there, and another moonflower right there. This bed is doing very well. The zucchinis are starting to flower. So we should be eating out of that pretty soon. Another moonflower vining. And my sweet potatoes and some basil. This is Minnesota Midget. This is Sugar Baby. And really nice greens on those sweet potatoes. Now this, I forget what this one is. Oh, Orange Glow. I think Orange Glow watermelon is very slow to get going. So I don't know if it's just the plant or the variety, but these are the rest of the winter squashes: butternut, acorn, Moroccan, and the blue Hubbard, the one blue Hubbard. I do need to work on trellising these so that they will not be on the ground so much. But looking very healthy, very green, very happy with the progress here. My recent addition, my little frog fountain next to some ever-bearing strawberries. That looks about ready. Delicious. And also some sad little potatoes. And these are June bearing, so they'll just continue on being alive. This is a volunteer. It has taken over my pea planter. So I do have a few peas left that are holding on for dear life. So a few more, another week or so before these will be edible. I've had to really be conscious to water this daily if I want any of those peas to come up. So here's a little sample of me seeding, continuing to seed in the soil. The tarragon I had previously didn't do anything, so I threw in more seeds. Still not seeing anything. Oh, this was from my child's class. Peas. I don't really. Yeah, this is going to be compost because there's no way peas are going to make it. So in here is where I dumped in some more lemongrass and lovage seeds to see if they'll come up. This is called white cypress vine. This is night scented stock. I don't remember. I think this is the mimosa plant, so that'll be an indoor plant. This is lobelia. I see little green flecks, so that's coming in slow. And this is, I believe, an amaranth. A different, it's like a golden amaranth. Lettuce is pretty much at the end of its day. This particular variety bolts easily. These leafy ones hold on a little bit longer. Also, the crinkly reddish ones hold on a little bit longer. And then the green stalk. See, here's some older crinkly ones. So they're getting there. They're starting their bolting process, which is flowering. This giant clover. But there's some ever-bearing strawberries in this container. These are the first, which I seeded. Not seeded, transplanted from seed. Borage flowers, so that's very exciting. These are edible, not for sustainability. Some more nasturtiums. What was in here? Yeah, this is the first time I seeded tarragon and nothing ever came up. But the onions in here are still strong. They're not ready to come out yet. This is, I always forget. This should be arugula. Yes, that should be arugula. And then this is winter savory and summer savory. I need to water this container. Oh my goodness, it's so dry. It looks like the Mizuna is suffering. Yep, the Mizuna did not make it through the heat. So I'm going to have to reseed the Mizuna. But the rice is rising. Fortunately, I also have to water this very often. Well, it looks like tomorrow is a big water day because everything's looking a little dry. We got some chives here doing well. This is my sun gold that's doing the best. These carrots are looking pretty good. And then some more alyssum down here. I'm not going to uncover this bed of greens. It looks very healthy. The Swiss chard in here is much healthier than the one outside. My greens, cabbage, kale, broccoli. This is the best I've had of these brassicas in all the years I've been growing them. So netting 100% must be done. Some sad looking strawberries because they haven't been watered recently. And here is the rest of my established rice, and then I had seeded the rest of it, but it's looking very sporadic in the growth of the ones that were seeded. So that's pretty sad. Also, this needs to be watered more. Is there a world holder for tallest hollyhock? Because I want to enter. This thing is absolutely gigantic. I don't know what it's tapped into that's giving it so much life and vigor, but I wish all the other plants would get that. Um, yeah, this is a weedy mess because it's not a space that's easy to get to. But the things that need to be green are still green. I did a harvest of the chamomile. Um, I should do another one before the season is done with them. The yarrow is looking vibrant. It looks like the cilantro has flowered. So we will get coriander seeds there. I also harvested the feverfew. We have our volunteer marigolds that are the first to come out with flowers. I believe these are the Cracker Jacks. And then our sea of chamomile. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And here's some more yarrow. We cleaned out the garage, so there were some things that didn't make it back in. Still working on that. And then these basil are not quite as, did I plant these before or after transplant? The other ones. These are not as like up and at 'em as the rest, but they'll catch up. They look healthy. That's all that matters. If you missed my last video, I did do a trim on these 9 bark up to a point, and then that whole mess needs to be worked on. I haven't paid this area much attention, but the emerald carpet raspberries are alive and well and looking like they're doing their thing. So that's good. Also good is this mulberry. Very healthy. What's not good are the honeyberries. They're looking really toasty. So I'm going to give it, a few months to see if they recover. But both of them. And they both had green buds, and I thought I did really good on their soil construction when I planted them. And it rained a whole bunch. So maybe they'll grow back from the roots. I don't know. We'll see. And this mess is the flowers are going on the comfrey. But my comfrey batch is in here. Can you see it? And also my stinging nettles. There's a huge bush of stinging nettles over by the chicken coop on purpose. But it's taking, no, it's more than one, but it's taking over there. So I have a lot of stinging nettles. Also flowering are the cosmos. Look how pretty. The oranges that came up first, the purple is not showing up very good, but there's a lot of blooms left to come. The Dusty Millers are mostly good, but it looks like I'm losing them one by one. I just lost that one. I lost one over there weeks ago, over there. So I only have 4 out of 6 left. So tick, tick, tick. The zinnias are growing well. They won't flower for a bit. And then another sadness. Well, first, the sunchokes look good. The figs, there's a fig Chicago there. I don't know what variety that one is, but it's doing very well. But sad news, last time you would have seen some really nice beets growing out of here, but there was only 2 left a few days after that video. So I did reseed. So those over there are new. And I see maybe 1, 2, they're just starting to come up. I don't see any here. They're just starting to come up the second time around. But the pumpkins are looking very good. We got flowers yet? Yeah, the flowers, the male flowers anyway, are up. This is very exciting. I do have to go through and start doing some bug control before it's too late. I did highlight the raspberries over there, but it was just too hot and they just fizzled out before they came to any great abundance. They were sour. So, although it was an abundant year for the raspberries, it was still not the best year for strawberries. Oh, raspberries. And another overgrown mess. We collected our lemon balm. We are just waiting for flowers on some of our other bee balm, our hyssop. We have to start harvesting our calendula, or we're gonna lose out on it. There's a coral bell there, but nothing really to show for. So, yeah, they're cute. It's cute. One little thing. I look forward to the seeds, that's for sure. Over here is another sun gold that's doing well. I believe this is a borage, but yeah, I hope it's a borage. Our lavender looking nice, not as nice. Yeah, there was one sweet pea that's now gone. Ah, this one just dropped its flowers, but here's its beautifulness. This one's a nice contrast here. This columbine looking absolutely, it's so stunning. But also paired with this pink hollyhock, just beautiful. Another lavender. These strawberries are just hibernating at this point. And then my one out of two, maybe, sweet pea that survived is finally flowering. So I do have a white one here. Are they both white or is this one yellow? This might be, no, I think it's also white. It's like pale yellow. So that's that with the sweet peas. And more hollyhocks. And I'll end it, oh, not end it, but I didn't realize lamb's ear flowered. So there's the purple flowers and the fuzzy leaves. I'm gonna have to see how to get this to get bigger leaves. These are tiny leaves. Oh my goodness, it feels so good. Well, since I'm doing a really in-depth tour here, I'll just show you some other stuff that's like outside the general periphery. This Astilbe has been here, so I just wanted to highlight just how beautiful it is. I just love this plant. Awesomeness. More importantly is the sea berry, is that what it's called? That I planted last year. Russian orange is the variety. So it's still alive. So I look forward to seeing that grow up majestically. Now the highlight in this area is the canna lily. I thought I'd lost it. So this was overwintered in the garage in shredded paper. And I put it out, early May maybe? Or even mid-May, but then we had a cold snap and I was like, oh no. And I didn't see anything. I was so worried. But it came back. So obviously now I have to dig it up again in the fall. Well, let's not forget to update you on the Love Lies Bleeding Amaranth little babies and the sad existence of these sunflowers. So nothing to report there. I mean, we might get a couple stems to get all the way. We'll, cross our fingers. And I'll end it with an update on this sun gold. Still tiny, still sad. I think the soil in this spot is not as good as the soil in that spot, which is where I've had it all these years. Fortunately, unfortunately, I have plenty of volunteers from Fallen Seeds, so we'll compare how those taste when they come up, I already see flowers on it. I also see the dreaded cabbage moth butterfly, or moth, sorry. But yeah, I see numerous flowers on these volunteers. So we'll see how they compare in flavor to the parent. So this is a time when I really have to be on top of my watering, even though I just saw one of the podcasts talking about that plants need less water, more or less, like generally speaking. Oh, the dog found a plastic bag. Wonderful. But because the day length is getting shorter, that plants expire less water. I got to get on that plastic during this, after the solstice. But obviously, it's super hot, so still got to keep on the watering. Not just for the plants, but for myself. Part of gardening burnout, which I think we all experience, is because we are sorely dehydrated during this time. So the plants need it, I need it. Sorry, I had to pause for the dog and the airplane. But yeah, keep up on the watering on all fronts. Otherwise, that wraps up the June garden tour. I hope you enjoyed. Please keep watching for all the updates and all the projects that I get onto the rest of the year. So I'll harvest more. Talk to you all again soon. Bye.